Hello, hello, come on in. I'm just going to admit everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to admit everyone. Hello, hello. Kim, Sandy, Mona, Amber, Tammy, Angie, Angela, welcome. I am going to grab some oils. I'm going to grab some water. And I hope you guys do the same. Let us know what you are applying tonight. What oils are you using? We're talking all about digestive health tonight, loving your gut. So glad you could all join. This is a really deep like a deep topic. So I'm not even going to be diving super deep, but just kind of touching on the lifestyle and the basics for a healthy digestive system and the reasons why. So let me go grab my supplies. Grab a notebook, grab some water, grab your oils. In the comments, what are you applying? What oils are you putting on? What are you loving lately? How was that Valentine's Day? If you were here for last week, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day and used some of those tips from last week. But again, that's for everyday life too. It's not just Valentine's Day. All right, I grabbed some Digize and Clarity. I've actually been having some, I don't know what's going on, some digestive things happening, crazy things. So Digize usually makes me like, whoa, right? How many of you love the smell of Digize, or you're like, no thanks, right? I would love to know what your thoughts are on Digize. But I don't know, I have it next to my oh,
Good subject if you have belly problems.
yeah, I know, right? Like I have no clue what it is. All our systems are connected, and I'm like, is it female problems? Is it digestive problems? I don't know, but yes, but I had it next to my bed because I've been relying heavily on it. And I was just laying here kind of like resting my eyes, and I kept getting like wafts of it. Like I could just like, it's just one of those strong oils that it has the cap on it, but you could still smell it. And even my kids, they know when someone's wearing Digize. They're like, oh, smells like Digize. Who's wearing Digize? I mean, it's a very recognizable oil, but it does wonders on the digestive system, which we'll talk a little bit about tonight. But it was really comforting to me. And I don't know, it's just weird, like it's comforting me. So I'm just gonna keep that close by. So some of you say you like Digize. You're using gratitude tonight. Oh, that's a good one. You used Digize last night on an upset stomach. Yes, under the tongue too is a good way to use it. Yeah, that's a really good way to use it. It works, but it stinks. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about happy gut, happy life. When you have a happy, thriving digestive system, life is pretty good, right? Your digestive system controls so much. It's like the epicenter of your core being, okay? And I'm still going to be letting people in. It says Apple owner. I don't know who that is. And like I said, I like to keep everyone kind of safe in here. So if I don't know a phone number, if I don't recognize like a name, I usually don't let someone in. So if you know that someone's trying to get in, please just in the comments or just unmute yourself quickly and just say, hey, so-and-so is trying to get in. Sometimes I'll get a message. So, okay. Welcome. My name is Sarah Stutzman, and Sarah, Marie, Paul, and I, we run these Monday night calls, and sometimes we have some of you join in, and if there's a topic that you would love to teach on or share about, message us and let us know, because we would love to have you, your brains, your knowledge on something that you are passionate about. And so we would love to have you share with us on a Monday night if you have a topic you want to talk about. I'll put a link to a survey at the end, that I will be collecting information and sending out a amazing PDF of, that I found on the internet, of a protocol for leaky gut. And it's just a healthy recipe guide and some, a shopping list. So on that, you'll have a section to put, if you want to learn more about something, or you would want to partner on a Monday night, we would love to have you partner with us and just get some different perspectives, right? Sarah and I are always looking for co-hosts and those that love to share about oils and wellness. So welcome, welcome. Um, so did you know 80% of your immune system is in your gut? It's housed in your gut. Serotonin is made and stored in your gut. It's a neurotransmitter that keeps our mood thriving. It keeps us upbeat and happy. Serotonin also is the precursor to melatonin. So if you are low on serotonin, if your gut is not in optimal working condition, and you are unable to either produce serotonin or store it, you may also have low melatonin. Okay, so if you have a difficult time falling asleep, or if you fall asleep instantly, but then you wake up at the same time every night, it could be, and you can't fall back to sleep, it could be low serotonin levels. Also, you need ample B vitamins, B6, B12, to help convert serotonin to melatonin. So just some side notes for you, that our gut and our brain is connected in a big way through the enteric nervous system, through the vagus nerve. It sends neurotransmitters, and it communicates. Our gut microbes and our neurotransmitters connect with our brain to our, I see some people, I always forget to leave people in here. It connects our gut and our brain. Our mood is so intrinsically just connected, and God made it that way on purpose. All right, so if you ever just have that gut instinct, right, that term is there for a reason, right? It's because it's our microbes, it's our neurotransmitters that are connecting back and forth. All right, and so when we have a happy gut, a happy digestive system, we have usually relatively good mood, higher serotonin levels, and then some other neurotransmitters within there. Okay, so new research has previous research back in, I would say, the early 2000s said that we are more microbial, like 10 microbes to one cell, that we're more microbial than cellular. Well, I was doing some research, and newer research is saying that that's not quite true. And it all depends on our age, our sex, our weight, our diet, and our poop. Okay, how often do we go to the bathroom on a regular basis? And so that all has to do, so we can't necessarily put everyone in one lump sum saying that we're all more microbial than cellular. Some people are, and it's good to have higher amounts of microbes, because those microbes are actually our first defense. I forget where I learned this, but I thought it was quite just fascinating, that it's our microbes that come to our rescue first, and they're the ones that signal like our immune response. They're like, hey, yo, we need some help here, right? We need some backup. And so they're usually the first responders. And so our microbes are really important. Healthy, beneficial bacteria all over our body really is important, because it helps to keep away bad pathogens, bad bacteria. And so when you hear someone say the microbiome, well, that could mean a lot of things. Our microbiome is all the microbes that live on our skin, in all of our orifices, right? In our ears, in our nose, in our mouth, and in other orifices, right? All of those microbes, even like in our armpit area, right? And so we have microbes all over on our outer body and on our inner body. But tonight we're going to talk about the digestive system and our gut, okay? Because we hear that a lot. And so let's just talk about the skin real quick, because when we hear people say don't wash with antibacterial soap, it's going to kill all the good bacteria. That's true. It's going to kill all the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. We want to leave all that beneficial bacteria, right? Because they're going to come in and they're going to protect us against those like invaders, right? So same thing with our gut, right? When we're taking medications, when we're using any kind of over-the-counter medications or prescription medications, that's going to alter our bacteria in our gut. I mean, we all know like antibiotics, right? That is going to just strip our lining, right? That's going to strip all those beneficial microbes. And they say it takes about 6 months to a full year, maybe even longer, to actually repopulate and recolonize all those good strains of bacteria that we need in our digestive lining. But not just antibiotics, all over the counter medications, okay? All of them are going to interfere. Even medications that you might need on a daily basis from your medical provider. And so let's just take that into consideration, right? Our diet, okay? The more refined and processed our diet is, the less it's going to lack in nutrients. It's going to lack in enzymes, in beneficial, probiotics that we might need. We pick up those probiotics all over the place. And then also stress. I think we talk about stress a lot. And so stress can also really alter our digestion, okay, and create an imbalance, okay? Stress just stops digestion pretty much in its tracks because we go into fight flight mode. And when you're running from a cheetah, right, you're not thinking about down in a cheeseburger and french fries, right? Or even eating a salad. You're not thinking about eating at all. You're thinking about saving your life, okay? And so digestion completely stops. Not completely, but it really, really slows down, okay? And so those three factors, just keep those in mind, okay? Now, can you stop all those things cold turkey? No. Can you stop all of them at all? Maybe not at all. I mean, some of you are on medications that you need to like survive, right? But here are some things we're going to talk about our gut, and we're going to talk about how you can support it even if you are stressed, right? Even if you are on necessary medications, even if you you do eat outside of the healthy norms every now and then, right? But always think about how can I first support my body with maybe taking less ibuprofen or less over the counters, right? How can I support my body by eating healthier food options, right? How can I support my body by lowering my stress? Okay. So think about that first. And Sarah and I have had, many, I feel like we've had a lot of Monday night calls about emotional support and stress. And so if you need to message one of us, then we can point you in the right direction in that area. But for tonight, we're going to talk about how probiotics and enzymes work. All right. Welcome, Sarah. I see you in here. I introduced you earlier and said that we run our Monday night calls. And if anyone wants to join us or have anything of value to say, that just message either of us. We would love to have anyone on. So, okay. So remember how I said that the new studies are finding that it depends on our age, our sex, our weight, and our poop, right? Healthy bowel movements are really, really important. That is our body's way of detoxing and cleansing and getting rid of the waste product, okay? And microbes and, or bacteria is an integral part of that. Detoxing, breaking down waste, okay? And elimination, time to just get that out, right? And with that, we release a lot of microbes, okay? So we let a bunch go, right? But they're constantly repopulating, right? I went over gut, went over microbes. Okay, so let's talk about what is in our digestive lining. What does break down our food that then is eventually eliminated, okay? We need to be going to the bathroom at least one time a day, okay? One time a day to eliminate all that waste. That is optimal. Twice or 3 times is like the best, okay? What goes in must come out. Are you working on that? Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so we need enzymes, we need probiotics, and we need a healthy alkaline or healthy, I wouldn't say alkaline to acid, but a neutral pH in our gut. So enzymes are the key to life, right? We have over 300 enzymatic functions every second. Every second, 300 enzymatic functions, not necessarily just in our digestive tract, but all over our body. Enzymes, if we didn't have enzymes, we wouldn't be living, okay? We need them. And we're born with so many that they start to, decline as we age, right? Specifically more in the digestive tract, right? So enzymes help break down our food for our body to use it. We get enzymes starting in our salivary glands. That's why it's so important to chew our food. Oh, you can't let anyone, I don't see anyone trying to get in. Hang on. Wait, there we go. Okay, they're in. Thank you. I get so wrapped up in talking. Okay, so salivary glands. Enzymes start in the salivary glands. When you start, even just smelling your food, your mouth starts to water. And then sitting down and fully enjoying it and chewing it, and then going through the entire digestive process, enzymes are released from our pancreas, within our stomach lining, and then within our small intestines. A lot of people that suffer from any kind of reflux or acid reflux could be from low enzymes. And how many of us try to suppress that acid? We're on acid, acid medications or over-the-counter acid suppressing, tablets, chewables, when really it's an enzyme deficiency. Because what happens is when you chew and you eat your food and it lands in your stomach, and there's supposed to be enzymes there that are supposed to be breaking it down, and there aren't, and your body's going, whoa, where are all the enzymes? And then all that hydrochloric acid rushes in to start decomposing the food, and guess what? It's too much and it just comes up, right? And so instead of chewing the the antacids, think about enzymes next time you eat. Take an enzyme either with your meal, and I'm going to talk about a few, or some of them require you to eat them swallow them, 30 minutes before you eat your food. So enzymes, key to life, okay? You get some enzymes in raw foods, okay? You'll get enzymes in raw food and a lot in fermented food. So live fermented food, like sauerkraut, even like kefir and yogurt, but any kind of, you name it, foods can be fermented. You can have fermented beans and beets and all kinds of things. And it's so easy to ferment food. If you're curious about that, I have a whole course on how to ferment, and even just adding a little bit of sauerkraut to your meal. Um, Kombucha, drinking kombucha. Kombucha is really a liver detoxifier, but it will offer some valuable probiotics and enzymes too. But in our ancestral days, our ancestors used to have a little bit of fermented food. Everything was fermented, ketchup and mayonnaise, and that's how they preserved things. And so you had these fermented condiments at every meal, a little side of it, and it helped with digestion. It helped digest your food. And we see that coming back now. So making sure that you have a living fermented food, nothing that's been heated, canned, or bagged. So none of the bagged sauerkraut at the store. Make sure that it's in the cold section, in the refrigerator section. Sometimes you can even get sauerkraut juice. I don't know, never tried it, but I've seen it there. Check your farmers markets too. You'll find a lot of great family-owned businesses that make these things, and they're small batch, and they can, farm to table pretty much. All right. So any questions so far on enzymes? We'll talk about some supplements that you can use if you really need some support. Yes, and if you eat too fast, this will cause less enzymes, right? We call this food hygiene or eating hygiene, where we really stop and we slow down to eat. Let the body do what it's naturally supposed to do. When we're rushing and, when we're only allowed to have 30 minutes for a lunch break and we get 15 and we're scarfing down our food and doing our paperwork and checking our Instagram and checking our emails, we're not consciously thinking about what we're even putting in our body. All right. And it goes in and it just sits there and it's like, oh, did I even eat? I don't even feel satiated. I just feel gross, right? So take that time. Make sure you make that intentional. Great question, Sandy. All right. So if you have any more questions, I can always come back, right? Yes, important to sit to eat, Denise. Absolutely. And I'm guilty of it. I'm a mama. And so when my kids are eating, I'm like, yes, I can throw some laundry in and I'll just kind of bop around the kitchen, but I have to be mindful to sit as well. I have to remind myself. All right. Where'd I go? There we go. Probiotics, another key to beneficial digestion and a healthy gut. So probiotics, think about that. When was the first time you heard about a probiotic? When was the first time you took a probiotic? Comment in the comment section. I think the first time I really tuned into probiotics was that Activia yogurt that claimed they had so many, it was great for digestive health, made you go to the bathroom a lot. And I used it and it was wonderful. And then there was some that I would just, I think I was in high school. So, oh gosh, I'm dating myself, like 20 some years ago. Your homeopathic doctor 5 years ago. Yep, taking them with an antibiotic. Christy, the same thing, Activia. Okay, so probiotics are nothing new, right? They've been on the market. But how do you know when you have a good brand? How do you know that it's even working? Like, how do you know that you even need a probiotic? Probiotics, what they essentially are they're beneficial organisms. You're just adding all those beneficial microbes back to your gut if you're lacking them, or if you need some more support. So they are found in the GI tract. There's various strains. You look at the back of a yogurt container and it's acidophilus, right? That's one we normally see a lot. But there are so many. And if you yogurt is good, but if you can eat kefir, or kefir is another way to say it, it is like yogurt on steroids. There's so many more strains of probiotics in kefir, and you can find that at the store. You can make that at home, but it's just fermented milk pretty much using these little tiny grains. They're like a symbiotic union of yeast and bacteria that ferment the milk, and they add these strains, these cultures that then repopulate in our digestive tract. And so you can get them through food, but some people might need extra, especially if they're not feeling well, if our body is under attack, if we're going through a season of winter where there's a lot of sickness and illness, where we need to really have a good population of probiotics and different strains, not one strain, but you need multiple. So I like to think of a bee colony. In a bee colony, you have bees that have different jobs. You have obviously the queen bee, you have the worker bee, you have the soldier bees, you have the nurse bees. And so you have all these bees that do different jobs, and they do them so well. And if you didn't have the worker bees, who's going to go out and collect the honey, right? If you didn't have the nurse bees, they're not going to be there to feed the the new bees that are coming around. And so each strain is like a bee colony, right? Each strain is like a little bee in a bee colony, and they all have different jobs and they do different things in our body. And so we need a balance of them, because if there's an imbalance, even if it's a good thing, right, it could be in the wrong place in our digestive tract. So sometimes I say, do you really need a probiotic, right? That's where it's always good to, try it. If you notice a difference, keep taking it. If you don't, then switch to a different variety. You're supposed to switch your probiotic every 6 months, okay? Because it offers different strains, different cultures. They help protect us against unhealthy bacteria and against unhealthy pathogens, right? Things that aren't foreign invaders, that aren't supposed to be there. Like I said, they are our first line of defense. They're the ones that call in our immune cells. They're the ones that call in our cells that need to be there. And so I always thought, I drink raw milk, and my first impression was, oh my word, you're going to get sick because of the bacteria. That's what we're thought, made to think. But here's the beautiful thing. Raw milk has so many probiotics. It has so many beneficial bacteria because it's never been heated and, altered, that it is going to ward off any of the bad bacteria that shouldn't be there. Okay. And so that's exactly what it does in our system too. Probiotics do that in our system. So they act as a barrier in the intestinal lining to keep harmful organisms and chemicals out. Okay. So I want you to take a piece of your hair. I don't know if you've ever heard me do this or have ever done this with me. Just one strand of hair. Okay. And just look at it. And I want you to imagine you cut that in half. Okay. That is the lining. That is our epithelial. Just half of our strand of hair is the lining, our epithelial lining of our intestinal tract. Super, super thin. And that is what protects chemicals coming in, pathogens coming into our intestinal lining. Okay. And so you have the epithelial layer, and then you also have all the bacterial layer, the beneficial microbes that line that, and it helps protect. So that is why it's really important to keep a good colony, a good population of beneficial bacteria in our intestinal lining, okay? Because our epithelial cells, they need some backup there, right? And sadly, have you ever heard of leaky gut? And maybe some of you do suffer from leaky gut. It is when those tight junctions, those cells, they're supposed to be really tight, no foreign invaders coming in, only digested food particles going out, fully digested food, or not even particles, but our nutrients, the things that our body is actually going to need. But sometimes through life, like I said, sometimes our processed, refined diets, stress a lot of times, can weaken those junctions and you get kind of gaps. So if you just take your hand and you can see it, it's hard to see, with my hand, but it creates gaps in there. And what happens is it just allows things to flow freely through our intestinal lining, which is supposed to be so safe and protected that chemicals can get through in and out. Food that isn't digested properly can go in and out of there. Proteins like gluten can flow in and out of there. And that's then what leads to, a lot of um, digestive issues, but also autoimmune um, issues that we're seeing in our culture because our body sees proteins like gluten that's very similar to our thyroid tissue, and it attacks the gluten and then it attacks, guess what? Our thyroid. Okay. And so that's why it's really important to keep our digestive tract healthy, making good choices of what we fill our day with, what we fill our body with, right? So how do we support our body, right? You're probably all wondering, okay, how do I do this, right? Well, I'm going to put this link here right now. Make sure you complete it. Just bring it up on your computer, click it, bring it up on your computer, and then pop back in here. And then you can fill it out, and I'll send you a great, here we go, resource to, it's just a 5-day grocery list, healthy shopping grocery list for healthy gut, or to help you with healing your leaky gut. Even if you don't have leaky gut or if you don't think you do, it's still a good resource. It's still a great recipe tool. Recipes, guidelines, why to stay away from gluten, things to avoid, things to add in. So I'll send that to you. Just fill that form out for us. So what can you do in the meantime to support it as you're working on diet and lifestyle? Well, we talked about digestive enzymes, right? There are a few that I love from Young Living. The one that I do love is Essentialzyme 4, right? And if you use any of these, comment on. Young Living has so many enzymes. I could just blow your mind right now and list all of them, but I don't want you to leave here overwhelmed. I want you to have a starting point. And Essentialzyme 4 is awesome because you can take it with your meal. I always forget to take my enzyme before I eat. Okay. Now, I don't always take an enzyme, but if I know that I'm having just an unsettled stomach, or if I'm going to eat something that I know isn't in my normal diet, like if I go eat out, right, and I know I'm going to have some refined oils, um, you know, I will take an enzyme to help with digestion. Essentialzyme 4, you can take it right with your meal. Okay. So it will release, slow release, and help you digest your food. Essentialzyme, just the plain old Essentialzyme, is good too. That's another option. If you're good about remembering to take it 30 minutes before your meal, and you can do this with every meal. Some people choose to do it with their largest meal or their 2 largest meals. It's up to you what your body needs. So Essentialzyme, you need to take 30 minutes before your meal. Essentialzyme 4, you can take it with your meal. Okay? Anyone take an enzyme? I would love to know your results. Like, how has it helped you? Because remember, I said a lot of times if you're having any of that reflux, it's because you may be lacking on enzymes or you're eating your food too fast. So think about that too, your food hygiene. Life 9 is Young Living's probiotic. Remember, I said, and a lot of you said, you started taking a probiotic like years and years and years ago. Okay. How do you know it's in a good one? How do you know if it's actually effective? There's so many on the market these days. I do love to add Young Living Life 9 into my protocol of probiotics when I need them. Life 9, this is why I love it. It has 9 strains of bacteria. Okay, remember we need multiple strains. They all do different jobs. It has 9 strains of bacteria and 17 billion live cultures, okay, in one little capsule. Okay? So there's 17 billion of them in that capsule. And it's a delayed release. So it's not going to break apart in your stomach with all the stomach acids. It's meant to bypass and release in the intestinal lining, in your intestines. That is where the magic happens, right? And then it can repopulate within your intestinal lining and protect that epithelial cell layer. Okay. You want to make sure when you get it, you keep it in the fridge. Okay. So I keep it in the refrigerator. There's 30 capsules. Take it at night on an empty stomach. Because when you take it with food or you take it in the morning, there's going to be more of a chance that it will break down a little bit in your stomach because of all the acid, the churning. So when you take it right before bed, when your stomach is kind of like, you know, on break, on rest, it is best to do it then. Awesome, Denise. Yeah, definitely try the enzyme. There's other ones that will help, like, break down debris and gunk and all kinds of things. There's some amazing enzymes that just research some of Young Living's enzymes and look at the difference and see what your body is needing. I know Allerzyme helps with anyone that has more of a sensitive stomach, and if you eat something that totally disagrees with you, it's this little tiny, like teeniest pill. And it really helps. Like if you know that you get gas with broccoli, but you eat broccoli anyway, take the Allerzyme, all right? It'll just help digest that. Some people just have their stomach just doesn't handle leafy greens or lettuce and they get really gassy. Allerzyme helps with that. So anyway, getting off on a tangent, but all good stuff. So yes, keep Life 9 in the fridge. The third supplement, Alkaline. Remember I said you have to have a pretty neutral pH. An optimal pH of 7 with slightly more alkaline than that is so good to have. A lot of people have more of an acidic pH because, again, the foods we're eating, consuming, the more refined processed foods that we consume, the more acidic our body is and our stomach is. Sugar, alcohol, caffeine, refined carbohydrates, like all the white flours, will increase, your chance of having more of an acidic pH. And guess what that does? That's not good. That will allow pathogens to flourish, yeast to flourish. It'll increase inflammation in your body. It will damage tissue and organs and impair the immune system. Okay. So all of those things will create more of an acidic pH and then wreak havoc on your body, especially long term. Okay. It might not do it like, within a week, right? So you go on vacation and you have fun, right? That happens. I'm talking long term, like years of living a lifestyle of, these habits, letting them go, right? So Alkaline tastes like Alka-Seltzer. And it's a supplement from Young Living that it just helps to neutralize pH. It calms the stomach if you feel the waves of the stomach, right? And you're like, ooh, take some Alkaline. It helps to just settle everything. Helps to create more of a neutral pH, okay? I do love Alkaline, especially if I know I'm traveling or if I'm going to be in large crowds. This will help also with just immune support. I love it for that. If I feel like I'm coming, like I said, digestive issues. If I feel like, okay, this isn't normal, I'll start to take some Alkaline just to neutralize my pH so that my inflammation goes down, my body can work properly. Awesome, Natasha. Okay, so those are the 3 supplements I would recommend. Like I said, I could go on, but I don't want to blow your mind. Let's start there. And then let's talk about those essential oils, right? Because there's so many oils that will just help support our digestive system when we're feeling the waves of either nauseousness or the cramping or the grumbles. Guess which ones I'm going to talk about tonight? There's only 3 of them I'm going to talk about. Which ones do you think? I call them the magic trio. Ooh, good one, Denise. I almost put that one on there. I will mention it. Okay. Ooh, ginger. That one is in one of them I'm going to talk about. Aroma ease, digest, peppermint. Okay, lots of winners. Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, tummy dries is another good one too. Oh man, so many good ones. So many good belly supporting oils that you can put right on your stomach. The trio that I love is Digest. Of course, it has ginger in it. It has all the digestive supporting oils. Ginger, fennel, anise, tarragon. There's even patchouli in here. Yeah, this is way too small, this reading, but all the digestive supporting oils that are going to calm and support your stomach, your intestines. You can put it on your lower back, but I like to mix it with peppermint because peppermint is also really calming for the stomach. And it's also, it's a driving oil. Okay, if you want to drive an oil in faster, use an amplifying oil. And we're using 2 of them. We're going to use peppermint, and then my third one is Copaiba. How many of you got Copaiba in your kit? Yes, yes. Copaiba used to be in the premium starter kit, and now it's one that I just cannot live without. It was another one that I was using real heavily over the weekend when I wasn't feeling well, and I'm still using it. It helps with the inflammation response in your mucous membranes, in your in that smooth digestive lining mucous membranes. So it helps to just calm everything down, right? And so that's why I love to use it with Digest, peppermint, and then Copaiba, those 3. So peppermint and Copaiba are both amplifiers too, so they're going to amplify the Digest. Some people like to just use those 3 in a roller bottle, equal parts, like 20 drops of each. I never really measure, I just dump. So 20 drops of each and then top with coconut oil and then roll it right on the stomach. There are people that go through life that have digestive issues that they are dealing with every single day, right? And maybe you're one of them. I know I have a family member that is that person. She's dealt with it since she was like a teenager. And I'm just trying to stay compliant here. I'll just leave it at that. And she has just found so much success with doing that, just rubbing that right over her stomach. Okay. Some people have success putting it in 1 drop of each in a little capsule, in a little veggie capsule. You can get those from Young Living. You can get those at the health food store. You can get them on Amazon. So a drop of each and a carrier oil like olive oil or coconut oil, put it in there and just take that every day. I think Sandy, you said dropping Digest under your tongue. You can do the Vitality under your tongue to help. You can put a drop in your, you can do a drop of each in some Ningxia Red in the morning. And so that is a way to help support just healthy digestion and making you feel good and less bloating, right? So that your body can actually digest and do what it's supposed to do. So peppermint, Digest, and Copaiba are like my trio there. But some of you also said aroma ease, which is good for like feelings of nauseousness or unsettledness. Tummy jize is like Digest, but for kids. And it's not as strong smelling and it's already diluted. My kids love that. We put a little roller fitment on top. It's already diluted and they just roll it on their belly. And sometimes I'll use that instead too, unless I need a high powered oil like Digest. So yeah, all great. Now we have just a little bit of time left. Okay. So just to go over it again, digestive enzymes, your essential zyme 4 or essential zyme, we talked about. And as I'm going over this, ask me any questions or tell me anything that was life changing. Life 9, probiotic to add to your routine. Alkaline for neutral pH to help with neutral pH and to help with, unsettled feelings in the stomach. And then the oils, peppermint, digest, and copaiba, just to help with daily support if you wake up in the morning every morning, you're like, oh, feel bloated, just unsettled. You can roll that on your belly or take it in capsule form or put it in your Nature Red. Okay. Yes. Um, Young living is life changing, right? And I love all the success stories of those that have just, yeah, started using oils and started changing diet and lifestyle. I mean, it's not just one thing. It's all encompassing, and I love that. So I never want anyone to think like, oh, I can quit cold turkey. Just know it is like it's just changing. It's a whole lifestyle, and so I love that. 7 years ago, and you're like just on a roll, Tracy. That's awesome. Um, and so I also want to tell you guys, like I said, it's a lifestyle. It's lowering the stress, making sure you're making good choices with your food. And sometimes I want to talk to you about this. Sometimes you might think that, you are eating healthy and you're doing all the right things, but you're still having some digestive concerns, or you're still having, like I said, with the leaky gut, it could throw rashes, it could throw migraines, headaches. Here's the thing. Sometimes a cucumber could be upsetting. It could be a sensitivity for you, a strawberry. So even if it's a healthy food, you could have a reaction to that, and your body is saying, whoa, because it could resemble a tissue, like a certain kind of tissue in your body. Like I said, gluten resembles the thyroid tissue. And so, the strawberry uh, could resemble a certain kind of tissue in your body or something in your body that it's going to attack the strawberry, but then it's like, oh, that looks familiar, that looks like this in the body, and it attacks it. So just know that you could have an allergic reaction from eating the most healthiest food, right? So make sure, you could always do something called muscle response testing or kinesthetic response testing, or it's called nutrition response testing, so many different names. But that that practitioner will be able to determine if your body is sensitive to that food, okay? And then actually what's going to support the body, what's strengthening it. It's powerful. My daughter, the reason we got into Young Living is because my daughter wasn't sleeping very well. She was like 6 months old, maybe even younger than that. And she just was a finicky baby. She was, just never slept. And I was tired. She was my last child. And then I got lavender and I was like, this is amazing. My baby's sleeping. It wasn't like any lavender I'd used before. And then she started with a lot of digestive and respiratory issues. And digestion and respiratory, antibiotics were throwing her digestive system off. I couldn't use the antibiotics. I was like, I had to do something. And so we went to a muscle response testing doctor. We were using our oils. We were using the supplements she was giving me. We were strengthening her digestion. She had leaky gut. That's what she had. She had leaky gut at a young age because of multiple reasons. But don't ever doubt that there are answers out there. Okay. And so I would suggest that. I mean, there's allergy testing you can do, but that's more invasive. Muscle testing is so non-invasive. It's great. I mean, you're going to pay out of pocket, but it's really not that much. I'm going to type it in here. Actually, if you fill that survey out, I will text you the link to where I go. She's in Honeybrook, Dr. Marissa at Preferred Wellness in Honeybrook. All right. Any other questions? Yes, magnesium is good for bowel support too. A lot of times we're low in magnesium. Uh, Anything with digestion, I would say, make her a roller bottle of the peppermint digesting copaiba. I always offer digestive enzymes too, all the time. Like I will always give some samples out to people or any of my clients, my health coaching clients, I will give them digestive enzymes as well and say, try this. Yeah. All right. Okay. Make sure you fill that in. I'm actually going to post it again because I know some people just popped in. So I'll post that link again. Thank you all for joining. And next week, Sarah is going to be just leading us through a dream call, allowing yourself to dream and look at the potential that Young Living has, the income potential, the what it could do for your family. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that, Sarah.
Hey, everybody, how are you? Sarah, thank you so much. I always learn so many more things. Like, I need to take my enzymes. Did anybody else get that out of this call? I have some like sitting over in my supplement drawer, and I definitely need to take them more regularly. So, thank you for that. And yes, so next Monday evening, the call is going to be a dreamer call, and we are just going to discuss some personal testimonies about how I and Sarah as well. We both went from being full-time public school teachers to running our own wellness businesses from home, and also how just the Young Living opportunity has changed our life in so many ways. And we may be reaching out to a few other people to be sharing their stories as well. And we're going to give you just some really basic steps when it comes to sharing that you can take in order to feel more successful with what you're doing. So come one, come all. We would love to see you. And thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope you all have a great night. Take care. Bye.